The Carmel Mission was founded by Father Junipero Serra back in 1771. Here, there is much to learn about the man so many are still talking about today. Father Junipero Serra was born in Majorca, Spain, educated in the Catholic Church, and in his mid-30s left to travel halfway across the world to spread Christianity. He made his way to Mexico and eventually California.
His real objective was the Monterey Bay, and ultimately he sought Monterey as the center of the area that he wanted to evangelize, and it was also located on a port that could be resupplied by the Spanish.
Professor Ruben Mendoza has studied Father Serra extensively, and in particular his time here at the mission in Carmel.
You have to bear in mind that Serra was a product of the colonial period, so that's a period that is very conflict-ridden from our perspective.
Serra spent the latter years of his life at the Carmel mission. It's where he took his last breath, in this small room, and where his remains are buried at the altar of the chapel. Serra is credited with founding 9 of California's 21 missions, and it's that missionary work and the subsequent effect on the people native to this land that remain the issue of much debate, and why some are downright outraged he would be recognized as a saint.
We have 2 competing perspectives. One in which Serra was seen as a hero by the Americans, and another in which he is seen as he's demonized by those who see European imperialism, American exceptionalism as evil.
Mark Romero with the Mesa Grande Association is one of those very much opposed to Serra's sainthood.
We don't view him as a saint. We view him as a sinner. Now, when you read his journals, when you read everything, it just points to a man that did harm here. Mass murders, enslavement. It wasn't even servitude, it was enslavement. And so how can we approve something like that?
A sentiment shared by Valentin Lopez, who's written half a dozen letters to the Pope asking him to reconsider.
He set up the system to have the soldiers go out and violently capture the Indians and force them to the missions. Once they were at the missions, they were enslaved.
But some argue that picture of Father Serra isn't accurate.
Serra was not a monster. He was not the demon that some have characterized him as. And in fact, if anything, he was one of the first crusaders for American Indian rights in all of California.
Recently, Pope Francis apologized for the church's behavior during colonization, and many say that although he's chosen to canonize Father Serra, he is by no means excusing any wrongdoing. Still, those who disagree say it doesn't make much difference.
Every time something like this happens, it's like we're getting slapped in the face again.